With unsportsmanlike conduct, then I will file a report and it'll get attached to your record.
Oh no, not the permanent record. Now, in all seriousness, guys, we are back. It has been quite some time. It's just been a super busy season, to be honest, and content has definitely been on the back burner. I've had a lot of professional stuff going on, just like career development things and studying for my professional engineering exam. Many of you know that I'm an engineer by education, so that was an important step in the right direction. But anyways, that means I have a huge backlog of footage for you guys from a lot of races that happened, including Tulsa Tough. Flew all the way out to Oklahoma and did that one. This one that you're looking at right now is CBR number 4 from back in like March or April before I got super sick before Levi's Grand Fondo. But overall, lots to break down. So content is coming. I'm back to it. We're making it happen. And really with this one, I just wanted to show you guys the dramatic disparity in finishes between a category 2-3 race and a pro 1-3 race. So as you guys are aware, this season has been really about me trying to get that Cat 1 upgrade and gain points. So a lot of my time is spent racing in 2-3 races because I can usually perform pretty well, and we work really cohesively as a team in the 2-3 races. We're not up against the big boys like, you know, Legion Blazers and whoever else might show up to a local race, right? So down here in SoCal, things are a little less controlled in the Cat 2-3 races, and we have a pretty good team presence as well as folks like maybe Endure, and we're able to actually line it up on the front and give it the business and make things happen when we have a full squad. Unfortunately, in this 2-3 race, it was just myself and Nick giving it a rumble. I really, though, like I said before, want to focus on sort of the differences in these two races because there are a lot of them, and I think it's pretty clear to see the controlled chaos of a pro race and then just the chaos associated with a 2-3 race. They're very different things, and I think you guys will also be able to see, once I point out a few of the key differences, kind of understand, I guess, why it's tough to finish well in a 2-3 when there's so much going on. It's more to chance, I feel like, instead of the 2-3, or sorry, instead of the P1-3 being more about positioning and other things. So you guys are probably familiar with this one already at this point. It's straightforward. It's a 4-corner crit, nothing crazy. Fields of 50 to 100 dudes. It really just depends on the day. Like I said, this is a category 2-3 race, so I want to jump into the last probably like 3 laps and talk about the things that I think that Nick and I did really well in this race, talk about some of the more chaotic moments and the mistakes that I personally think that I made that would have gotten me a result here, and then right after that, we'll dive into the Pro 1-3 race. I'll talk through some of the similar things. It's still going to be those last few laps, so you guys will see the dynamic change between the Cat 2-3 ending and the finale here with like 3 to go, and then the category Pro 1-3 ending, which is much different on a few different levels, and I'll explain those key differences here. First thing is first, though, I need to get the heck off the front. I don't know what I'm doing up here, man. Just vibing, doing some tempo, 220 watts. That's the usual thing for me. But you can see I pull to the side, letting people go, and immediately get counterattacks. Is what it is. But yeah, everybody's following that. Not a big deal. I'll just slot myself into the peloton, and we'll be ready to rumble. But time to fast forward. We're going to get into the last, I think, probably 3 laps here. I think that's a good starting point. Cool, so we're jumping ahead here. As you can see, Nick is in front of me, and we've been linked up since, I think, like 5 or 6 laps to go, which is really solid for us. We've really gotten good at riding together. The whole squad this year has been so dialed when it comes to getting together with like 5 or 6 laps to go and sticking on each other's wheels for the most part. Now, a couple lapses in that situation, and you guys will see a little bit of that here in this race, and there's a few reasons for that, but we'll get to them. So we just came into 3 to go, and Nick is leading me out. The man is super punchy and has just like a good kick from pretty far out, and this year I've hit like my new best peak power numbers. I hit like 1630 peak and did 1530 or 1540 for 5 seconds. So we're getting there. In a race, I'm still like probably 1300 usually if I'm fit. If I'm suffering throughout the race and I work a little too hard, then it's more likely to be somewhere around like 1,000, 1,100. But fresh, I mean, I can do like 11 or 12 seated, so it really shouldn't be that much lower. So at this point, though, with 3 to go and coming into 2 to go here in a moment, everything has to be going forward. So at this point, the thing I've said a million times is that if you're not racing forward, you are actively losing the bike race. And now you guys will see with the 2-3 races, people's lines get really bottled up in the corner, and it's just a little more unpredictable. So it's not smooth flowing, it's a little more surgy, and that actually zaps your legs a little bit more for the sprint. So your power dynamic is much different. And right there, coming into 2 to go, you see I get extremely sandwiched between 2 riders. And I want to run that back and look at it again, because then you're seeing the crazy line choice that's like kind of shutting the door on me in front of me. So let's just run that back so we can look at this part again. Okay, so jumping backwards, coming into that last final finish straight, and this should be coming into 1 to go, actually, I believe. So I think part of the problem with the 2-3 races is there are too many line options through the corners. So everybody kind of makes up their own line because they're giving each other a little too much space. The peloton's not flowing as a cohesive unit. So then people are kind of crossing up wheels in the straightaways, and boom, you get sandwiched. So that's just people not being sure about following the rider in front of them. Everybody's fighting for that last little bit of space here. And even myself, I'm a big proponent of filling any possible available space that I can. The critical thing here is to remain patient and do a little bit of power to get back to your lead out, man. So I was patient after that corner. I didn't do anything too risky. That's when crashes happen. So I allowed that dude to shut the door on me. I didn't try and come underneath. As you can see, the rider just slammed the door on my right, is now on my left, and I'm finding my way back to Nick's wheel. Now, this is coming in the last straight here, and same rider is crossed up wheels again, going forward, backward, gets sandwiched there. And I actually gave him a holler there because I got pushed back again. Now, the GoPro effect is in full effect here. It looks like I have space to slot between there, even get a little physical. And trust me, like, I would if I had the opportunity, but I just didn't. But you can see Nick way up the road. Like, honestly, if I was on his wheel, prime position to unload a sprint. But at this point, if you're this far back, you're out of it. So let's run this back and talk about how I end up out of position and some of the chaos that happens in the 2-3 race. So we're running it back one more time. This is coming into 1 to go. Really pay attention to the rider that sandwiches me on my right. The dudes in this race, the 2-3 race, I swear to God, they teleport, man. Like, they go from one side of the peloton to the other. They'll be on the outside line one corner, and suddenly they teleport to the inside line. I'm like, bro, how'd you even get there? Totally fair of the California, I think it's California bike, I don't know, NorCal team in front of me. That kid closes the door. I get about as close as I can to the barriers without nicking my shoulder, but I'm really proud of myself for remaining patient here. I move up when the opportunity presents itself, but breaking down what Nick and I probably should have done at this point is we should have pushed forward. So we had the opportunity right now to go flying up the inside like the 149 rider did, and we would have been in prime position and not gotten so involved in the washing machine. So if I'm sprinting here, which I am in this case, the washing machine is the real problem. We need to be closer to the pointy end. So this sandwich that happens right here should not have happened. And I try to come back into space, and then he's got bars and just kind of gets a little too close to the bicycle house racer. Can't get up there. But you can see Nick teleports forward. Had we just taken the front right there, I probably would have had the gas to stay on it through this final corner. And you can see I popped at like 1100 there. So it wasn't a lack of power or the opportunity to sprint. It was really just positioning. So at this point, I'm way out. As you can see again, riders taking crazy lines, super unexpected lines. When it comes to the drag race though, like I can stay on the power, across the line, no problem. It's just chaotic. So this was a really frustrating finish for me. I think I finished like 13th or something. Definitely not so proud of this. A lot of things I did wrong. All right, folks, so now you're looking at the pro race. Pro 1 through 3 at CBR, much faster, much more controlled, 15, 20 minutes longer usually, but the peloton generally flows as a cohesive unit. The funniest thing about this is that there are plenty of Cat 2-3 riders from the previous race that you just saw running it back and doing their second race in this field. And I don't know if it's just the experience level of the Cat 1s and pros being involved here that sort of dictates how the lines are taken in the corners, but it's just generally much less sketchy. People aren't hitting their brakes, there's a smooth flow, we open up before the corners, we dive in the corners. Like even just the beginning of the race here, people find the wheel in front of them, they follow the wheel in front of them. There's like zero space between riders. Everybody is shoulder to shoulder. Everybody's confident and happy with a little bit of shoulder rub and contact. It's not gonna absolutely cook you. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. So I've got two teammates in this one. I think we've got Julian and Nick, and I don't really remember what exactly our plan was for the day. I think it was just kind of like whoever's in position, give it a rumble. If you can get up the road a little bit, give it a rumble. Just take advantage of the opportunities that you can. So we don't have a huge team presence here in the P1 through 3. SoCal's got a few guys. Ice Speed Racing has a few guys. And Corey Lockwood's here, who is in the CBR Leaders jersey. But things are just generally harder and faster from the jump. And I think that just like keeps the race safer overall. So we're strung out early on. This isn't really the portion of the race that I want to draw the comparison to though. I really want to dive into like the last 3 or 4 laps here, because I was also kind of in a similar position in that washing machine like I was in the Cat 2-3 race, and I think you guys are going to see some serious differences between the two races. Okay, I lied. I do remember what the plan was, and the plan was to keep Julian in position so that he could sprint. So, worst case scenario, Nick and I are cooked from just like jumping in early moves and riding like menaces, you know, trying to get away with like the thing that goes or towing something back here or there, like one last ditch effort. But overall, the plan is if we have the opportunity to get up, ride in front of Julian, ride together, and hopefully just put him into position to sprint. He's probably our most talented, scrappy sprinter and has had the most success in the P1 through 3 races. So you can see here, Nick goes up in front of Julian and basically he's like, come out. So Julian's gonna move up and get back on Nick's wheel. You can see him fighting with the lava rider there, but I'm kind of back in this washing machine once again, and this is not a crazy place to be this far out. I think we're coming into maybe like 3 laps to go at this point, but in the pro race, you gotta stay at the front all the time. But some of the key differences just right off the bat, look at the corner. Everybody's taking a line through that corner that is smooth. You don't see guys teleporting from the complete right side of the peloton to the left side of the peloton. They're not all over. Any like general peloton movement, people typically move around, they slot back in. There's a Tarun rider coming backwards right there, and so people have to dodge him, but even then it's not sketchy, you know? People are offering you space when it's time to offer you space. That corner, super smooth. One of the sketchiest corners in the 2-3 race, and I actually think I'm looking pretty good here. So Nick is coming back. He just put Julian way up in like the top 10 wheels, which is really where you have to be from this far out, and you need to be fighting for position at all costs. The unfortunate thing here is I think there's a move of like 3 or 4 dudes up the road, and spoiler alert, that's gonna stick. So realistically, we're sprinting for like, you know, I think 5th at this point, something like that, if you're even involved in the sprint. And now there are like 100 dudes in the pro race, so you think it would be even worse, but I'm not getting doors slammed on me. Even Ronnie in the sunflower kit right here, he's moving in, but quickly realizes like, oh, that's not the line. So he just stays on the line in front of him, and it doesn't sandwich me you know, it doesn't cause trouble. Same thing right there. People are crossing up and getting tight, filling space, but you're not getting like slammed out of the way. It's just much smoother. You can fight for position, but you don't have to be aggressive. Your bike's not going all over the place. It's just really smooth and controlled chaos, like I said before. So I see Ronnie moving up. Ronnie is always sending a flyer, or at the very least just like willing to gas it at the front late in a race. So I know this is a good wheel to follow toward the front. And Julian still sitting pretty, like top 5 or 10 wheels. And I know that's where I should theoretically be, but I'm hesitating, right? So we're coming into what I believe is the last 2 corners here, and I know it's about to open up, but the rider in front of me is Sharon, and Sharon has a crazy 200-meter kick. Dude on the right, Luke Fetzer, the current U23 national champ, and then in front of that, you've got Eli Watson. Dude also knows how to sprint. Now right here, I make a horrible mistake. I leave a little too much space between myself and Luke, and he hammers up the inside, gaps me, takes the inside here and gets back on the sprint. Homeboy wins the field sprint, and I think he took like 5th or whatever, and I ironically ended up in like the same position, maybe like 2 or 3 positions lower than I was in the Cat 2-3 race, but it was a whole different finish, and I was in a really similar spot. So let's run that back just one more time, take a quick look at some of the key differences that I'll call out for you guys. Okay, so jumping back here, this is coming into the last couple laps, right? Actually, I mean, this is like 2 to go, and I think we're coming into the last lap here. So coming into 1 to go, I'm surrounded by talented folks. So both the Lauber riders, the Mitchell boys, super talented. They're always kind of up there in the mix. Maybe they're sweeping Noah Mandow, super successful, has won a few of the P12 crits. He's like 3 wheels in front of me. Eli is up there with him. Everything's kind of looking good. So I'm realizing I need to probably gain like 10, 15 wheels at this point and be in that top bubble, but I'm sitting in a spot where I could be competitive here. And when I see Ronnie moving up, I'm like, okay, cool, this is the time to jump on the train. But you can see the flow of the peloton is shifting, much like it was in 2-3. It's just a little less chaotic because everybody's shifting together. People naturally expect and anticipate the group to go a certain direction, and when it does, everybody goes that direction instead of some folks going the opposite direction. And that's the important thing here. They realize that like staying in the draft is valuable. I'm starting to also realize like, okay, cool, got the likes of Luke Fetzer here. Yogi has been really finishing well this season in a lot of races. He's going. Sharon jumps on his wheel. Eli and Luke are both right here, and this race really comes down to hesitation. So right here, if I would have just jumped and really given it my all and stayed on Luke's wheel instead of trying to slot right onto Noah and just do my own thing, I would have been at least in the mix. And I'm coming up behind Sharon and the Team California juniors here, and I give it a little rumble here, but obviously, like, I'm not going to sprint dangerously for like 25th. So pedal hard to the line, but the key point here is just the level of chaos is so much more controlled, man. Like, yeah, there's physical contact, people are bumping, stuff's getting crazy, positions are being fought for, but it's just less scary. So with all that being said and breaking down both of these races, I think that the key point is really that you don't have to panic at the end of these races. So something I see a lot in the 2-3 races that, you know, I'm learning and trying to get better at myself is just like not panicking, being patient, understanding that yes, you need to move forward. Yes, it's, you know, desperate times, desperate measures, take a little more risk, but asserting your position doesn't have to be a squirrely thing. Asserting your position can just be riding strong, maintaining the wheel in front of you, filling empty space when possible. And I've said this also a million times, I'm no expert, but I do like to think that I have a decent enough head on my shoulders to watch this stuff back and realize when I made mistakes. Obviously, it's harder in the moment when your heart rate's sitting at like 180 BPM. For me, I'm 32 years old. That's pretty high. I'm not, you know, 19 with a 200 BPM max heart rate. So this is me like at the end of a race really kicking. So just keeping your head on your shoulders, maintaining your space, following the right wheels, moving forward at all times is all very important. And you can see here, like Julian, my teammate who finishes super well, he's really only a few wheels in front of me, and I'm on the inside line, and the inside line is probably going to be faster through these last 2 corners. So I was thinking definitely this was a good opportunity to finish well, and proof, like Eli and Luke dragging it out on the left side end up going 1-2 in the field sprint for the best of the rest. So my intuition was correct. I just didn't commit when I should have committed. And that's really all this boils down to. So lessons on commitment, lessons on patience and maintaining your space and being assertive. And, you know, shout out also to like some of my P12 friends that have been giving me some tips this year. Talking about my talents and where they could see me improve. Like, I really do appreciate you guys, you know, giving me tips on assertiveness and when to stay in the pocket and move forward. I think that's all been super helpful. So if you guys like this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel because there is more coming. I know it's about to be trainer season, so I saved all this content for that, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you soon enough. Peace out.